Okay, don't mind me. I'm gonna be doing some work in the meantime because I need to do some work and also I'm falling behind. But I was busy watching this YouTube video today. I usually watch a lot of YouTube videos that are pertaining to, a lot of things that do with society, beauty, things like that, and kind of like just analyzing it. And like the more I started watching beauty videos in particular, where you have, these things are like, oh, Botox this, Botox is ruining your face, like completely natural, BBLs, this, that, and the third. I kind of started becoming sick of it to the point where it's like, you guys are being so cynical about what people do to themselves and also what people decide to get for themselves, i.e., procedures. And I just wanted to come here and say that you guys need to stop psychoanalyzing women. You guys are constantly psychoanalyzing them. You guys are constantly zooming into their pictures, right? Analyzing every crevice, every wrinkle, every single thing to see if it's edited or not. To the point where it's starting to become laughable. Like, you say that you want women to be authentic. You say that you want women to have their natural beauty. You say you want women to embrace themselves, right? Um, at the same time, you said that you want them to have these unrealistic beauty standards to the point where they need to look near perfect when they wake up, but completely natural. But completely natural, right? To the point where if something even looks slightly too polished, you guys will go in for her. But the second something looks slightly a bit too authentic, you guys are also gonna go in for her. And God forbid she's like the right amount of both in between. Cause now you're gonna be like, okay, but like, is she doing Botox? Okay, but like, did she get a lift? Like, did she get like a facelift? Okay, but like, did she get buckle removal? Cause she looks a little bit too perfect. And then you start calling her. You start saying that she's contributing to the unrealistic beauty standards, right? And you're saying that she's becoming a bad influence for young girls to look up to, simply because she just she just took a picture in the morning and she just liked how she looked. Or maybe she did edit it and now it's getting like millions of likes. Or maybe, she did get surgery and she decided to take a picture because that's what happened. You guys need to stop putting so much influence. You guys need to stop putting so much responsibility on celebrities, on how they present themselves. And don't get me wrong. I completely understand what you mean by celebrities need to start being honest about the way that they look in this, that, and the third, right? Because at the end of the day, celebrities are genuinely the people that will influence generations, right? I.e., the Kardashians. I really want to use the Kardashians as an example because I want to point out the hypocrisy in this, right? The Kardashians are very much known for being beautiful, right? To the point where they have pushed unrealistic beauty standards, right? They have done a lot of like problematic things, and they're still doing a lot of problematic things to this day, right? That's not to say, yeah, like they have done like a lot of problematic things, and they do need to be called out for it at the end of the day, right? I.e., um popularizing BBLs and lying about having a BBL at the beginning. Also, the thing with Kylie Jenner and basically lying for like years that she just overlined her lips until she actually came clean and said that she actually had lip filler. um those are things that like people. Hello, sorry, someone came in. I just needed to what's it, I need to do that just for a second. But like, yeah, as I was saying, right, you like, with the Kardashians as an example, I can understand why people will criticize them because for years they have pushed unrealistic beauty standards, and they have encouraged women to do the absolute most to their bodies and to their detriment as well. and have also affected how women actually view their bodies overall. However, comma, you cannot tell me that as a group of people, as society as a whole, that they did not that you did not have a contribution to how their success has become successful, and also how they are able to push themselves. And even now, where you have celebrities literally minimizing themselves, making themselves smaller, making their personalities so that they literally have no personalities whatsoever, becoming a shell of themselves because you criticize women so much. You criticize women so much, and it is so prevalent through how you criticize the women celebrities, and yet you don't even say anything about the men celebrities. I have not heard any controversies contributing to how male celebrities actually push unrealistic beauty standards, or have even given a fuck about their beauty standards to begin with. Because to be honest, I think half of the male celebrities look chopped as f. They look chopped. They're not even trying. They're not even trying. And you guys are just like, it is what it is. And mind you, there have also been a bunch of male celebrities that have gotten filler, that have gotten surgeries, and yet you don't say anything about that. You don't say nothing about that for years. And for years, Dwayne Johnson has been on steroids. And he didn't deny, neither did he confirm that he was on steroids until very recently. And yet he was on the mood board for so many other men to actually get his body. And so when he doesn't get that body, when they don't get that body, they start, feeling bad about themselves. And yet you don't say anything about those beauty standards in particular. Why? Because we want to control women. We want to control women. We want to control how they look, how they talk, how they're able to present themselves within the world. And it's particularly sick to me that we are psychoanalyzing women so much, to the point where you have these celebrities doing everything that they can to make sure that they are not pissing off the public, and still you people find a reason to you people still find a reason to hate on them, to tell them off, to tell them that, hey, we hate you, right? Even though you are, you're nice and skinny, or even though like you have a very sculpted face and you look perfect all the time, and you don't say anything problematic because you don't talk all the time, but we still hate you because this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. Y'all are cynical. Y'all are very cynical. Y'all are um very problematic. And even though these women celebrities do contribute to societal standards and beauty standards as a whole, we need to also understand that society also has a thing to play with it as well. You know, um, that's not to say that in the past I've never really criticized women for the way that they look. No, I'm pretty sure I have, maybe once or twice in my past, right? I'm pretty sure I have done that. I'm not a perfect human being at the end of the day, but it's particularly upsetting to me when other individuals are able to say you should do this because you're a celebrity, and you need to be perfect all the time because you're a celebrity, and you need to be a role model to our young boys and girls. To which, mind you, unless if they say that they want to be a role model, that they have no place to be a role model, right? Especially when it comes to artists, actors, this, that, and the fourth. They did not sign up for that role. They did not sign up for that role. They signed up to share their art. They signed up to express their art to the world, and to show people and to bring people into the world that they create in their minds. At the end of the day, that is their job, to create art, right? And unless if they particularly say, I want to be a role model to young girls and young boys, you have they have no they shouldn't be involved in that role model aspect. That isn't to necessarily say that, hey, young boys and girls won't look up to them. Of course they will, but it is your job as a parent, in particular, to tell your young boys and girls that this is how they look, but you are you, so you do you, right? And it is your job as a parent in particular to build up your child's ego. Well, not your, yeah, your child's ego, your child's self-esteem. Because best believe when you build up your child's self-esteem, they're not going to get to a point where they're going to look at every single celebrity and be like, oh, I want to be like her. No. When they have a strong sense of self, when they have a big self-esteem, when they have healthy self-esteem, and they have a big ego, right? And I say ego in a positive light, that means that they are not going to be shaken by the images that they see online. It's even as a teenager, right? And the reason why I say this is because even though I was very much criticized as a child, um, I very much did have to like build up my ego, and I very much had to build up my self esteem. Um, but even with that, I looked at other celebrities and I was like, oh damn, they look good. And then I moved on with my life because I understood that I don't need to be chasing a look all the time. I don't need to be looking like another person all the time. I just need to do me. I've always been the type of person where it's been like I need to do me. I need to do myself, right? And I need to watch out for what I do, right? That's not to necessarily say that I was always by myself 24/7, 365. No, I'm pretty sure I was. I am a people pleaser. I am very much a people pleaser. To this day, I'm still, dealing with people pleasing tendencies. But at the end of the day, it is your job as a parent to build up your kids' self-esteem to the point where they can look at other individuals and think, oh damn, they look cool, and then they move on with their life because they're satisfied with who they are, or at least they are looking to improve themselves as other individuals, right? So this whole point of saying that, oh, young girls and young boys are looking up to you and you need to be responsible and you also need to present yourself in such a way where it's like, you're bringing your most authentic self, but you also need to be perfect all the time. That's too much stress for an individual. Guys, celebrities are human beings. They need to be treated like human beings. Yes, sure, they're larger than life, but I think throughout history we have always understood celebrities as human beings. And it's only just been recently now that we are treating them as larger than life. We are treating them as deities. And that needs to stop. Stop psychoanalyzing women's bodies. Stop zooming in on women's bodies. Stop saying, hey, you look fake, you look plastic, you look this, you look that, because at the end of the day, you are contributing to those celebrities doing the same things. You are the reason why the celebrities do the things that they do to begin with. That's not to say that what they're doing, what the celebrity is doing, is not problematic, because 100% it is. But it's an echo chamber, bro. You call out, it comes back to you. So please stop psychoanalyzing women. Stop treating women as these objects for your viewing, because at the end of the day, they are human beings. And what you say to a human being, chances are it's going to replay in their head over and over again, right? So stop zooming in on women's bodies. Stop psychoanalyzing women's bodies. Stop saying that they look fake, that they look plastic, that they look this, that they look that, because at the end of the day, you are the reason why they do those things to begin with. You are the reason where they stop eating so then they can look skinnier because you call them fat, right? And then they're the reason why that they minimize themselves because you tell them that they're too loud and that they're too problematic in the things that they say, even though they are human at the end of the day. So they decide to minimize themselves, they decide to minimize their personalities, right? You are the reason why they get face filler, they get lift fillers, they get facelifts, they get BBLs, this, that, and the third, because you are zooming into every single crevice of their body and criticizing it. So now they have to do all of these things. All of these things is because society is psychoanalyzing them. is because society has always wanted to control women in such a way where a woman can never be enough. So when you tell women that every single thing of them is imperfect and you can never become perfect, then they become docile, they become small, they become a shell of themselves. And then that means that you are able to control them easier. It's all about control. So stop trying to control women. Please. Stop psychoanalyzing individuals. Stop zooming in on every single crevice on a woman's body, because you are the reason why they are getting those facelifts. You are the reason why that they're getting those procedures to begin with, because they they want to be perfect. They want to be perfect for society, and every single comment that you make is getting into their head, and it's replaying in their head all over again. You are the problem. We are the problem. And we need to fix it first before we look at those celebrities and say, hey, fix that, right? We need to fix what's going on in society first before we look outwards. Unfortunately, it is what it is.